Today, we're talking about a revolution that is happening right now, under our noses. This isn't just about AI getting a little bit smarter. It's about a fundamental shift in how we create things. We're talking about AI that can now write, review, and actually ship its own code. And this is changing the game not just for software developers, but believe it or not, for pretty much everyone else too. Okay, so let's just dive right into this with a specific and frankly kind of mind-blowing example. We're going to look at an AI agent called Claude Code, which is being used to build, well, it's being used to build itself.
So this is the big question, isn't it? It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, but it is happening today. What are the actual real-world results when an AI agent becomes its own main developer? Well, the numbers are pretty staggering.
Get this. In a recent 30-day period, 100% of Claude Code's own code was written by itself. That's right. For a whole month, not a single line of its own development was written by a human.
So what does that actually look like in practice? Well, in that same month, the AI successfully landed 259 pull requests. Now, for those of you who aren't in software, that's basically 259 separate, approved changes or new features getting added to the system. And when you add all that up, it comes to over 40,000 lines of new code. That is an absolutely incredible amount of work, all of it generated and implemented by the AI agent, working on its own system. But this isn't just about what the AI can produce on its own. It's about how it totally transforms the human team around it. They're not just sitting back and watching. No, their jobs have completely shifted. They're now using AI for code reviews and to generate tests, and this is leading to a speed that is just unheard of. We're talking about 5 releases per engineer per day. And this creates a wild new reality. You've programmers shipping code that they haven't even personally reviewed because they trust the AI's verification process.
So, to really wrap our heads around a shift this big, we're going to need a new metaphor. The job of a software developer is changing from being a mason, carefully laying every single brick, to something much, much more high level.
This right here, this really gets to the heart of the change. The old way was being a mason. You were focused on the craft, on writing individual lines of code. The new way, it's being an urban planner. You're not laying the bricks anymore. You're designing the entire city. You're the one deciding where the buildings go, how they should work for the people inside, and making sure the whole system just flows. So the crucial point is this. The value a human brings is shifting. It's moving away from the raw generation of code towards high-level management, taste, design, and most importantly, the user experience. You could say that AI can build the house, but the human is the one who decides if it's a home. Okay, so this is obviously huge for software engineers, but let's broaden this out because this is where it gets really interesting for everybody else. When code can be written in just plain English, the power to create software is no longer locked away with just developers. It's for everyone. And that brings us to this key term you might start hearing, vibe coding. It's basically the idea of building software just by describing what you want in natural language. But what's fascinating is, this term has already split and kind of means 2 different things depending on who you are. So for a software engineer, vibe coding might mean picking an AI model because you like its style, its vibe. But for a business professional, someone in marketing or HR, it means something way more revolutionary, the ability to build a real working application just by describing it. Here's a fantastic analogy. In the past, if the marketing team needed a specific tool, they had to go ask the IT department. It was slow, it was expensive. Well, vibe coding is like giving that marketing team a 3D printer for clothes. They can design and print the exact tool they need for a specific campaign right now without ever having to learn how to sew a stitch of code. So, when you give every department this kind of power, you fundamentally reshape the modern company. What you get is something we can call the do-it-yourself enterprise. This leads to a really interesting new concept, ephemeral software. Because the cost and the time it takes to create a tool has just plummeted, it's now often easier to just build a custom tool for one specific task and then just throw it away. It's often faster than trying to find an existing tool and make it work. Software is becoming disposable. I mean, just look at this new workflow. It's so lean, it's incredible. You have an idea, you describe the tool you need to an AI, you use that tool to solve your problem, and then you just get rid of it. The friction between having an idea and actually executing it is practically disappearing. So if business experts can now build their own tools, what kind of new jobs does this create? Well, companies are going to start looking for a new type of hybrid professional, what some are starting to call an internal forward deployed Viber.
And this is the key thing to understand. This person is not a traditional software engineer. They are, first and foremost, a deep expert in their own field, marketing, finance, legal, whatever it is, who also happens to be really good at using these new AI tools. Their job is to bridge that gap and build super specific solutions for their department's unique problem.
So, where does all of this leave us? We've seen software development get turned on its head, and we've seen how that change is now spilling over into every other part of a company. This isn't just a technical shift we're talking about, it's a creative one. And really, this is the ultimate takeaway. What we are seeing happen in software engineering right now is a blueprint for the future of all knowledge work. The focus is shifting away from doing the task yourself, whether that's writing code or a legal brief or a marketing plan, and it's shifting towards managing the AI that does the task. Your value becomes your taste, your direction, your strategy. And that leaves us with one final, and I think really powerful question to think about. When the cost of creation, of building tools and software, drops to nearly zero, when the only real limit is your own imagination, what will you create?